Hello again.
Oh,
How you doing? Welcome back.
I am so ready for this, Erin.
Been another long week. And hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of We've Got This Maybe, the podcast. All better this week.
That was good timing.
We're hit and miss with it sometimes, aren't we?
I know. It's a bit like, have you ever, when we clink, sometimes it's a really nice clink. And sometimes it's like, boom.
It's like when you give someone a high five and you get the real contact. Then other times you just slip.
Yeah, and you're like, oh,
that's rubbish. That's rubbish. No, well, that was good. We're on it. It sets us up for a good episode today and a good conversation. This is a juicy one.
Yes.
So we've obviously had loads of conversations over the months about friends, friendships evolving, changing, all of that fun stuff. And a conversation that we're having today is almost like one step past that. So, people poaching your friends, the evolution of friends. And you were telling me this crazy stat about having to you tell me, so you can say it better than me.
So the stat is, this was on a Mel Robbins podcast episode, and the lady was saying that you replace your friends every 7 years. Now, obviously, that is a generalized stat, and I'm sure there are plenty of people out there who have had, ride or dies from the age of 4, and I mean, full respect, because I wish, that'd be amazing to have. But yeah, so apparently the thing is that as we evolve, our friendships evolve. And obviously that I can completely relate to that.
So when you first said that to me, at first I was a bit like, nah, it's not true. And what you just said there about obviously some people have had that ride and die. It's like, yeah, you might have had that. But then when I thought back just through my life, and I think that 7-year thing sort of feels quite accurate. So you think,
familiar, yeah.
So friends you meet at school, so you start school at 4, you leave school at 11.
Yeah.
Got your high school friends. You then might carry some of your high school friends through to college or uni. But let's say, for example, you then make college or uni friends.
Yeah.
You then start work, and then you might carry some of them through, and then you meet your mum friends or whatever. So actually, that 7 years feels about right.
Yeah, it feels familiar, doesn't it? And I mean, I guess it's to do with those life cycles as well, those life stages and what you need in those spaces. And it's when we're talking about friend poaching, and I would maybe go as far as like having, even if you've been feeling like you've been replaced. Because again, that evolution that sort of happens within a group, if people are doing one thing, doing another. We've talked many a time about, how do you cope when a group is talking about one thing that you have no idea about? You feel like you're kind of the odd one out. You have FOMO. We had obviously the big conversation about when we were talking about bridesmaids and not being chosen and what have you. And this one's a really interesting one, I think, because I think a lot of people do struggle with this. Now, I meant massive sweeping assumption, but I do think it's something that, they do struggle with, sort of that change. And that feeling of replacement, even if it's not happening, it's like, it's just that feeling, and that's still valid.
Okay, let me throw this one out there. Like, we'll start hard. Have you ever avoided introducing people to each other through fear that they might get on really well, and you perhaps don't want them to get on that well?
I think I haven't avoided, but I have introduced with a slight side eye. Like, okay, I'm watching you. Like, what's happening here? I have done that, but I have to say, some people like to keep their groups, right? Some people like to, this is my group and I'm not going to introduce you to them. I'm not like that. Like, I smush all my friends together. Like, I'm like, oh my God, you need to meet this person.
Yeah.
And which has resulted, I would say, in some friendships forming, because, we go out all the time together. Oh, my friend from work's coming. Oh, my friend from home's coming. And I have had it where said friends have met and we've all had a fabulous night, handful of fabulous nights, handful of years of fabulous nights. And then, I start seeing them doing stuff and I'm like, oh, and again, it's this whole thing of conflict in my head because, yeah, I'm jealous. I'm not going to deny that I am jealous. I'm not going to invalidate the fact that I wished I was there. And there's a feeling of confusion, like, why didn't they tell me? Like, why didn't I get invited? Should I be feeling that way? Or should I be angry that they haven't invited me and I've been left out? Like, but have they found their true soulmate friend? And should I be happy for them?
Yeah. Like, I remember like a few occasions where we've been in a group and we've been smushed together because it's been like a hen party or something like that. And I've gone in with the intention of wanting to make new friends. Like, you know, when you're feeling like that and, and you sort of go in with a bit of a character on and you're really trying to be friendly with everyone. And, you know, they're obviously in their own group and you potentially came in your own group and now you're really trying to immerse yourself in a new group. And it hasn't like really worked out or nobody's really like taken to you in that way. And that can be quite deflating as well, where you want to be picked up essentially, but you haven't been.
But again, it's that whole thing of like your own validation. And I think you know, we are human and one of our, you know, we are social creatures and we do want to feel welcomed and wanted and needed and what have you. And I think when you don't tend to fit in and you don't quite find that gel, like it does make you feel a bit like, like, oh, okay, maybe it was me. And you immediately turn it on yourself going, oh, well, what is wrong with me?
Yeah.
And it's not that at all.
So I've got a friend who we weren't in a real group. Like we knew the same people ish. That didn't really see each other hugely separately, and two of them sort of obviously started getting on much better, seeing each other more. And then my other friend, when she saw the other one, she sort of wouldn't tell me that she'd seen her specifically. I'd be like, oh, what have you done this weekend? She's like, oh, I just went here with my friend. And it maybe wouldn't be until weeks after where she accidentally like dropped the name that she told me that she'd gone with this other person. Not that it would have bothered me because I wasn't really in that clique anyway, but I then felt like she was avoiding telling me because she thought I'd care.
But that's a really interesting one because I think people do that because they're scared of hurting your feelings, which is nice because they don't want to upset you. But at the same time, it's denying you. I don't know. It is so hard, isn't it? Like, how do you balance that feeling of, I never want to invalidate the way I'm feeling. I think everybody deserves the right to feel the way they're feeling. But like whether you should be feeling that way, again, that expectation that society has that you should be fine with everything. Like it's a really interesting one, like you're saying about sort of if you wouldn't be bothered, but you're still skirting around the issue.
Yeah.
Like why?
I think like a modern day thing of this is when you find out like your friend's been sending memes to somebody else. You know what I mean? Like when you feel like that's your relationship, like you like at night send each other funny memes, then you like bump into somebody, they're like, oh, did you like this person sent me this funny meme? And you're like, she sends me funny memes. Like, why is she sending them to you? Like, I thought I was the only one that was on her mind. Or like, do you know what I mean? You almost become a little bit possessive over it. And then when you realise somebody's got like a WhatsApp chat and you're like, well, I thought you were friends, but I didn't think you were that friendly.
So it's so interesting you say that because that's what literally happened to me the other day. And I'm like, what? How are you? You're not friends with that person that much, are you? And again, it's that whole thing of like, should I be this bothered? Should I not? Like, you know, and again, maybe I'm just very emotional. I don't know. But, you know, there's I've had it where I have befriended people with their friends and I've wanted to send them memes.
Yeah.
But I've decided not to because I think it's not my place to.
Oh, that's deep. So you've actually not done it, what, through fear of the people, them, how they receive it?
Again, when does a friend become your friend? Because, so let me give you, well, I mean, we're in a perfect scenario where a group of us have got together. Some of, you know, like some friends have been friends longer than others. We've all kind of joined together. We all socialize. So, you know, if you're befriending, like, for example, if I introduced you to one of my friends and you guys had this fantastic conversation on your first meeting about watermelons.
Yeah.
And you both love watermelons and you're talking about watermelons for ages. And then you go off and what have you. If you connected on Instagram or you see that she's tagged in a post of mine, so you could technically contact that person because you've seen something amazing about watermelons that you really want to tell her about, like, would you feel guilty or would you kind of not do it? Because that's where I was at.
Ooh, I think it would really depend. I see where you're coming from. You always like check yourself. Like, are we at that stage of friendship?
Because it was literally like the first day. It was the first kind of social event. And you have a really big topic about something and you go, oh my God, I am so the same.
Yeah.
And then you see something and you've seen them tagged in your friends' posts. So I was like, oh, do I click her and message her and say, oh my God, have you seen this? Hi, so nice to meet you. Oh my God, just thinking about this. Like, have you seen it type of thing? Or is the first social occasion of someone else's friend too early?
Oh, yeah. Not sure, but it's almost comes down to like the evolution then of the friends. So we obviously like now have examples where we're meeting people like through the children, and you may like pass them for months and months and months at school gates, and then you might arrange a play day, and it's a bit awkward, and then you send them a WhatsApp message because you've got their number off the school chat, and then you're messaging them just about something, and then they add you on Instagram, and then they send you a meme, and then you're in a totally different world.
Totally.
Like that. It's totally like evolved from like a hi to like something happens, and now I'm going to send you a meme, and we're like, that's so funny. Yeah. And it's like that was a different level of friendship.
Different level. So again, like when you surpass to the Instagram stage, because obviously there's a number of us now who are Insta buddies, but there's certain mums and dads who I'm connected with that I would just like and support from a liking status. But then there are mums and where I would totally send memes.
Yeah.
And again, is that because of the offline conversations, or is that, do you know what I mean? It's like, where are the levels?
Yeah.
Where's the criteria set that says you have now become level 5 friendships?
That's what I'm thinking. So it almost is like it's in the subconscious. Like, do you know what I mean? Like you're not really aware of it, but you sort of have to navigate your way through it, climb that friendship ladder.
But that's it. I mean, if we think back actually to Max's birthday, your friend who you were like, oh my God, you need to meet this friend.
Yeah.
And then you were totally right. Loved her. Like,
you're going to start sending her memes.
I'm going to start sending her memes. But again, like, admittedly, I would love to socialize with her again, and I can't wait to. Do you know what I mean? It's like, that's what's lovely, is that now I'm really looking forward to having that next opportunity, because I think she's fabulous. But I'm not at that stage where I'm like, hi, do you want to meet up? Like, I'm like, no, not I don't feel that's comfortable. I mean, you know who I'm talking about. So, but again, it's like, if I had that happen to me when my friends started connected with you, there's part of me that probably would be like, Erin's my friend, or like, so-and-so's my friend.
See, I'm now just trying to think how I would feel if I heard that you two would and I think, well, you've got very similar situations. You've both got daughters of the same age. You're both like similar characters. You're both whatever. Like, that's great for you. Just don't forget about me. But don't forget about me and my 2 boys. You're not going to want us anymore. My feral children, while your daughters are sitting there colouring nicely or doing bugs or something. And my 2 are like running around like headless chickens. Like, no, can't be bothered for that anymore.
Oh, come on.
But that is sometimes where it comes from, right?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I've got a lot of friendships that, we met through MCT or when the kids were young, and we're like, oh, this is great. All our kids are the same age. Now they're a bit older, and you do maybe have the boy-girl divide or slightly different characters. That friendship's not so easy. So it was easy before because they were the same age. And then it comes a point that age just doesn't cut it anymore.
No, gender does come into it, as much as I hate to admit it, because I always try to be gender neutral, but there is a stark difference, And I think, we navigate that, if you think about kind of when we do get together, because, you've got 2 boys, we've got Sophia, but we've also got the older boys as well, which sometimes helps, doesn't it, when they're all together. But that I think there are certain clashes that we do have sometimes when we are together, because it's the boys want to do one thing and the girls want to do another, and we do have to navigate that, and it is tricky. And it does make sometimes the thing, like you say, like, what if the kids have a fallout?
Well, yeah, and then you can't come back. You can't come back from that. This is what I'm saying. Like in that situation we were talking about before. Like, would I feel bad about you meeting up with somebody that I think would bring like value to your life, value to like Sophia's life or whatever? Like, probably not. As long as I then still had the relationship. I don't know how I would feel if I was totally cut off. But then it's, you know, horses for course, like you have different people for different things.
That's it. It's so hard because I mean, I don't want to invalidate, like I was saying, like I really don't want to invalidate my own feelings, but there's almost like I know it's like a bit unhinged. There's an unhinged moment where I'm like, I'm not 10, I'm not in a playground, you know, I shouldn't be feeling this way, but I do feel this way, which obviously shows that I myself values low. But like you say, like, I mean, how many times have I told you, like, what, 2 or 3 people I'm like, Erin, you have to meet this person. I'm so desperate for you to meet them. And I'm so desperate for you to become friends so we can all be friends together.
Do it together.
You know.
So tell me this one. Do you feel like you've ever, like, poached a couple or one part of a couple? Like, so I've got a couple of, like, groups now where, I don't know, like, Rory had a friend, they had a girlfriend, fiance, wife, whatever. We've been introduced, and now me and her are almost better friends than the guys are. So we're now the ones like spearheading the friendship, and the guys in reality would probably take each other or leave each other or just wouldn't see each other as frequently. But because we are the ones that are now friends and forcing the situation, it's now almost like enhanced their friendship because they're put together.
Well, they're exposed to each other more, aren't they? And it's really interesting you say that, because I think we've had this conversation before where the women tend to, and again, I don't want to genderize it, but, you know, I think when we look at the dynamics between a relationship, the mums tend to arrange the play dates, tend to arrange the kind of socialized situations. So again, like, we're actively or seeking or assertively looking for, you know, the occasion, and the guys just turn up, don't they? They're just like, yeah, I'll come along. But then they get the opportunity to socialize with these people. So again, they're building, like I would say Lawrence is definitely that way. So they're building the friendship through us pursuing our friendship. So, you know, when I'm saying to you, like, Erin, I want to get, you know, let's do this, let's do that. You know, Lawrence and Rory just turn up, don't they? They're just there. They happen to be
like,
there.
I've got such a busy social calendar, and I'm like, yeah. But sometimes on like a few occasions where Rory has planned stuff or he's arranged it or whatever with some people, I'm like, what are we doing? Like, he's like, oh, I don't know yet. We're doing like bare minimum detail, and I'm like, seriously, like, what sort of outfit do I need? Like, what
do we need to change your clothes for the kids? Like, do we need to take, you know, the planning that needs to go into it, the invisible list.
Yeah, well, that is a conversation we've had before already. So we've sort of hijacked the friendships then in those situations, because that's how I'd explain it. I feel like I've sort of hijacked that friendship now, and if that couple were ever to separate, I wouldn't feel like I couldn't. Well, I hope I wouldn't feel like I couldn't be friends with that person, because
it's a really difficult
you
one.
Keep your friend and I'll keep mine.
It's so hard. I've had it where I've become friend, like my vibe is more the partner than the actual friend. And then I'm like, oh, if you split up, what am I going to do? Because I generally, like, I love both of you, but I love you, like, the partner.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my God, how does this work? But I have to say, I've just thought about this actually while you were talking. Like, one of my bezies, like one of my ride or dies, I've really realised how much I've poached his friends.
Oh, really?
And I don't mean like isolating him from his own friends, but I've generally, like, hijacked probably the word. When we met, we worked together and we became just bezies. He's honestly, I couldn't live without him. He lives down in Brighton with his husband now. But when we were both young, single, you know, in London, hanging out in Soho, like, he would bring all his mates along, and I just basically became friends with all his friends. And I've never asked him, I've never truly recognized this, that I would go out without him with his mates. Like, I'd go out and hang out with his mates. I'd go for dinner with them. I'd go out and party with them when he wasn't there or he wasn't available or he wasn't invited. Like, And I've generally never talked to her about it.
Interesting.
I've just recognised that in myself.
So interesting you said that. So you would still see them when he wasn't there. Have you ever been in a situation where you feel like you've made friends with a group of friends because you've met through somebody else, but you then can only ever see them when that person's there? So you're so reliant on that person being there for you to have that group?
Oh yeah, I've definitely got. So I would say I would say 3 of the guys that I used to hang around with, their boyfriends and the ex-boyfriends, they're all like very, I mean, you know, they all kind of like became this big group. But some of them, I would look forward to their gatherings because their friends were so fun.
Okay.
Or they were so awesome, or we'd have so much of a laugh, or, you know, we'd always have a great time. And I'd always look forward to their social occasions, whatever they were, because I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be able to see Dan or Ben or whoever it was. Like, because I'd be so excited because I love that, you know, group of people. But it wasn't that I was integrated into the group enough. So one of my friends, Ali and Kirsten, two of my friends from when I first moved to London. Ali and Kirsten, I became friends with Ali, then I became friends with Kirsten, and they were 2 best friends. And then they had this group of girls that they'd grown up since junior school with, and they were all phenomenal, and I was addicted to all of them.
Yeah.
And I thought these girls were wonderful, and they were fabulous. And, like, you know, every time they had like a gathering, I would get so excited because they're so much fun, but they're all individually awesome. And again, I kind of miss that now because they've all moved up north, they've moved on, you know, they're all, but when they have the group shots together, I'm like, oh, I miss going out with all them guys.
But did they see that you were part of that group?
No, I definitely don't think I would. And again, it's nothing malicious, nothing like toward. It's more the fact that, you know, they were their ride or die. That's their, you know, that's their crew. And I just loved coming in and having fun with them. I definitely don't think I was adopted. I was certainly warmly welcomed, and they, you know, I've got them all on Instagram and what have you, and, you know, as you do. But yeah, there was definitely not a divide, but like a line.
Yeah.
Where
it would still be them.
It was still them. They would be the sort of, not the VIPs. That's
no, I know what you mean though.
Yeah, they're the crew, and then I was sort of like the additional crew, kind of rocking up whenever, you know, there was a bigger occasion to join. And I bloody loved it.
So do you think people ever look at like you now or us or whatever and think they're in a crew?
I think so.
Do you?
I mean, I think this podcast doesn't help.
Oh, right, fine.
Again, we literally spent so much time together, and you and I like
forgot about it.
You know, I'm literally like it's coming to that level of friendship. I mean, again, on my side, where, like, you know, you're one of the first people I want to talk to. You're one of the first people I want to message, and I can't. But, you know, with the way that we do the podcast and we chat, and, you know, we are drawn together anyway because of the things we do together. I do feel, and again, maybe it's an assumption, that the mums and the parents must see that. They must see.
See, I'm a like, so as we've said before, I'm not a huge like like all over social media and all stuff like that outside of what we do for this podcast. So I maybe, and again, we've spoken about before, maybe I'm just not socially aware that much. Is I don't know if I see it. Maybe I'm so used to, and this is one for your therapy app, maybe I'm so used to feeling like I'm outside of the fold.
Yeah, you've said this before, actually.
Like about with friends, about not being included, not feeling like that I really struggle to maybe see that I'm now the
an inner sanctum. Yeah.
A little bit, or that people would look at me and think she's in that group. Whereas before it was always me being like, I want to be in that group. I want to be in that group. But I don't see it because, you know, often I'll rock up at the school gate or I'll turn up to a kid's party and I still feel quite isolated. I still stand there on my own, or, you know, I'm like hovering. I don't really feel like I'm social butterflying, or, you know, hi to everyone. I still feel like really awkward and uncomfortable most of the time. So that does interest me, that maybe people are now looking at us or me or whoever and being like, they've got a group.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? And does it matter? No,
but I would. The only thing I'm thinking now is I wouldn't want to be making anyone feel bad. I don't know, not that they would, because we're not doing anything that would make anyone feel bad, but I wouldn't want people to feel like we're in a clique and it's...
Yeah, absolutely.
Can't touch
I never want to be part of clique, because like you and I both have experienced when we were younger, is that isolation that you feel from, cliquey. And this again, I think we've mentioned where we're really glad that in the kids' classes, we're relieved that the kids aren't that cliquey. They're not.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
we don't know what they're going to grow up into, but at the moment they're not, and I think that's really important. But I think there's maybe a change in the way that we interact now. There's no, I don't know, we're not like only talking to each other. We will absolutely be really open and talk. I do make a point though, I think, actually, if I think about this, I'm thinking while I'm talking, at parties where, we have talked, that if you were, because sometimes you and I do go off on one about the podcast when we're together, and we do start chatting about podcast stuff. And I do sometimes make a point of making sure I have gone and but
often if we're at a kids' party, I don't like we've spoken already. I sort of be like wave. I don't feel like we need to stand there and do that. But and as wild as this may sound, but we're only just now approaching properly our 1 year friend anniversary.
I totally agree. And I was talking to Lawrence about this, and I was saying it's incredible how quickly, how when kids, like Sophia, bless her, she went to the playground the other day, she came back, she goes, I made 3 friends.
She does do that. Even when I was out with her, she literally came back with a friend every time I turned my head.
Yeah, she's like, I've made 3 friends. I'm like, oh, fabulous, darling. That's well done you. So again, it's like, I think we're coming to that stage now where I'm happy to socialise wherever. I'm happy to socialise with whoever. I mean, obviously, day depending, cycle, week in my cycle depending. But again, I don't want to create cliques. I want to just be with people that I can be authentically myself. If you don't make me feel authentically me, or I feel uncomfortable being me around you, I don't want to be there. I'm too old. I can't be bothered. Like, this is it. This is what you get. And if you don't like it, I'm off. And it's fine. And I'm quite happy for you to not like it either. Like, I'm not there to people please or make other people like me. And I mean, again, I realize while I'm saying this, I'm kind of conflicting some of the things I've said about the fact that you try and, when you're in a group and people are chatting and you're like, I have no idea what you're on about, but I'm going to laugh anyway.
Yeah, I think it's, again, it's circumstantial, isn't it?
Yeah, but the quality of time you spend with people now, I think, is really important, because we don't have a lot of time. We're constantly working. We're, house managing. We're life adminning. We're child caring. We're, thinking about our future, thinking about our careers. We're thinking about our family. We're thinking about, that transition that you do when you get older, about your parents. Then you're not the child anymore. You're caring for parents, and there's all this transition that's going on. So when I have time, I want it to be a good time.
Yeah. Oh God. I don't have time for all the politics. I'm just not bothered for it.
And I'm like, oh man, I can't. When the whole memes on about the WhatsApp popping off and stuff, and I'm there going, too much, can't be bothered. I'll go talk to someone direct, thanks. Like, group chats and all that. I'm like, too much.
Yeah, it can't keep up.
Yeah. So, and again, I guess I really want to make sure, and I would hope us being friends, like, you would hold me accountable if I was being either cliquey or doing something that could risk someone feeling isolated. Like, I genuinely hope that isn't something I do.
But that's almost like another like point to the friendship thing a little bit as well. It's like, can your friends sometimes be bad for you? Can they do you a disservice? Like, if you're sort of always moaning or talking to the same people that have the same views as you, it's just like an echo chamber. You're just being gassed up all of the time. And can we always rely on people to say that's not right or call you out or whatever? And I think that part of it's difficult as well, because we can, we vent to our friends because that's right, and we need to get it off our chest. But if they're sitting there going, you're right, that's the right thing to do, but maybe it's some of the time it's not,
that is such a powerful point, because I think, again, there's two sides to this in my head from what you just said. One, you need to validate your own feelings. You need to understand that it's your choice. You've got to own it. But then at the same time, those friends, if they're not true friends, if, a true friend would sit there and go, babe, totally understand how you're feeling that way. However, have you thought about the fact that this could have happened? Or, hun, come on. I know it's tough, but you need to really start looking at the fact that this is, do you know what I mean? So it's like giving you the harsh truths as well as being your cheerleader. Like, I want to be there for you for when you're having your greatest moment, but I also want to be in the room when you're not there and totally cheer you on and be there, for you. But then at the same time, if you're in a moment where it's hard and it's tricky, but because of the hardness that you're having to deal with, that you might have been sort of like looking at it in a slightly different way, I want to be able to be that friend going, Erin, totally understand, but maybe it could, have you thought about this?
Stop being a dick.
Well, I mean, I've certainly been called that in the past, and I'm glad of it. I'm glad when people call me a dick, because I'm like, I want to be the best I can be, because we're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time, right? So I want people to tell me. I want people to tell me if I'm making life not nice or enjoyable for someone or for myself. Because you're your own worst enemy, right? So again, I need some, Lawrence has just had a lecture at me tonight. You're not looking after yourself. You're not prioritizing yourself. And then I'm pushing back going, no, well, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. I'm doing the other. And again, I want friends to do that. I want friends to challenge me. And yeah, fine, I might go in a tantrum. I might go in a huff.
Yes, yeah.
But again, if they're true friends, they will let me have the huff and they'll still be there.
Yeah.
And they'll understand it. So it's that balance, I think, like you're saying about having the echo chamber. If they're proper friends who you really should rely on, they would be challenging you. They would be going, babe, we want you to be the best version of you, And again, it's like, yeah, you can moan about how annoying your partner is. You can tell everybody that your kids are little shits. Absolutely fine. Your boss is this, I don't know, the postman's that, whatever. And absolutely, you can have that rant space, but also just look at like making sure that it's not, like you say, just gas.
Yeah.
Sort of,
like gassing you
yeah.
up. Oh,
it's an interesting one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, do you feel that you've had any situations where you've had that, where you've been in what, and you're going, hold on, these people aren't great for me?
Not that I don't think they're great for me, but sometimes I do like reflect on conversations and I'm like, not for any like fault of that other person, but it's like we're feeling the same frustrations as each other. We're just validating each other's feelings, but maybe we're not giving the flip side of it, or you're sort of being like, yeah, like you're right to feel like that. That was the right thing for you to do. You've not done anything wrong. They've done something wrong, or whatever. And then if you spoke to somebody else who maybe saw it in a different light, they'd be like, but you did do this and that maybe contributed to that, and maybe you shouldn't have like blown your top and all of that. Do you see what I mean? So,
yeah.
Somebody can make you feel a certain way about a situation and somebody else can make you feel another way about it.
But I think there's also, like, I totally agree, by the way. It's that being able to talk about it and rant about it and feel safe enough with your friends to just, just go off on one so you get it out, because it's an emotional kind of, thing that you're trying to sort of get rid of. But then there's a side of it to me where I don't know how to, I'm trying to think how I'd word this, but to me, like, you can rant, you can rave, you can, every now and then we just need to kind of, blurt it out, get rid of it. But then I always want to make, feel safe that I can be me and have people be safe with who I am. This is where I'm doing this a real disservice. Trying to find those friends that you feel safe to be yourself to the point you can open up and really share the real emotion that you're feeling. So like you're saying, there's always three sides to a story, right? There's one side, the person's side, the other person's side, and the truth in the middle.
Yeah.
You know, so there's perspective. You are absolutely valid to have perspective. It was your perspective. It was your experience. But it's that truth in the middle that we have to be recognizing that this is just our perspective. This happened. This is the story in the middle that actually happened. So again, it's just having friends who you want to be in a space where you can say about your perspective, but then also recognize that there is a truth. I really don't know if I'm doing this the right.
But that does all come around to that evolution of friendships, because you might vent to certain friends about certain things and other friends about other things.
Like, do
you know what I mean? Like, you have different friends for different things, and I might meet your mate and decide that she's perfect to talk about X, Y, and Z with.
Well, that's it. And like you say, like, I think it's, you know, I really liked what you said about if if you really emphasize each other's sort of characters and, you know, you totally know that they're going to gel and be friends, then absolutely endorse it, cheerlead it, you know, go for it. But then it's okay to feel a little bit like weird about it, because it's, you know, it's your two mates. And,
you don't want to be left behind.
Yeah.
Like Woody and Buzz.
I know, yeah. I love that.
But that's what it comes down to, isn't it? It's that replace.
It's that change, you know, and recognizing that change is a good thing. And it's sometimes uncomfortable, but it's also trusting in yourself, trusting in the fact that you're worth it.
Yeah.
And, you know, like when you used to go on dates, like, you know, don't try and people please them. You need to make sure they're good enough for you.
Yeah.
So again, it's like friendships, isn't it?
And never forget, Woody found new friends anyway in Jessie.
Oh,
and the other one.
Of Jessie.
Yeah. You know, I mean, he found his friends.
Bullseye,
that was it. So he found his friends in the end.
He did. Oh my God, have you seen the last one, the Toy Story 4?
Yeah.
The end of that. I mean, I'm not going to do any spoilers, but there's a moment at the end where Woody has to make a very, very big decision. I could not stop crying, to the point I was like, ugly crying. So I was like, he's having to make such an emotional decision right now. You know, does he stick with his legacy or does he go on to pass? But like,
those films just capture everything about so many stages of life, adult life, child life, all of these things that we talk about. I feel like films like that just capture them for us.
And also, I think sometimes there's films out there, kids' films, that adults should watch.
100%.
You know, because of the emotional kind of like explanations they're trying to give children.
And they're speaking basic language.
And they take it down to that level where you're like, okay. So yeah, I mean, Inside Out's a massive one.
Yeah.
You know, it's like things like that. There's some incredible Disney films. Red Panda. Is it Red Panda? Turning Red. That's incredible. That's like, for me, I really resonated with that I could see my 12-year-old self in that movie. It was incredible. So again, like, just all these, you know, places where we have to learn who we are and trust with who we are. We're worth it. We all are worth it.
Yeah.
You know, LV got it right. Is it LV?
See, I know exactly what you're.
LV or L'Oreal or something. I don't know who it was.
One of those, but no, that's an interesting one, and I think we've even picked up some topics for another day.
Yeah, we're making a list. Well, and also if you've got anything else, like,
yes,
you know, any topics. We had a couple from people.
Yeah, we did.
So we had a couple, but yeah, no, we're really keen to find some more things to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for your reviews. We love hearing them, and all of our new followers and subscribers and all of that. And please don't forget, if you haven't already, please just like, subscribe, tell your friends about us, and because the more people that know about it, the more people that we can bring into our little I was going to say into our little clique, but that's just on the tip of my tongue because of what we've been talking about. But I really mean tribe, our group, like our friends, our friend zone here.
It's all welcome, no judgments. This is a truly like brilliant space to be in all together. We're a community, aren't we?
And always remember, like, we've got this, maybe we do, maybe don't. We're just
depends what week it is.
Yeah, we're just figuring it out as we go.
Okay.
Well, there we go.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Next time.
Yeah.